Hey everybody, this is Denny.
And this is James from TDB, bringing you episode 111. We are back once again with Crimson Lotus tea. Welcome.
Thanks. This is I'm Glenn.
This is Lama.
And yeah, like you said, we're Crimson Lotus tea.
Yeah. What are we drinking this week?
I'm glad we have time to taste this one as well. This is one that is particularly awesome / interesting. It won't be like anything that we're used to drinking. So this is picked from probably the trees that are the hardest for us to get to, and also probably not the biggest trees, but definitely the tallest trees. These are picked from trees 20, 30, 40 feet tall. I can give you guys a picture and you can put it on the video if you want. It's they're awesome, and it's about a 3-hour hike outside of one of the remotest villages in Kunlu Slumbering, all uphill, of course, and we already washed it pre-video.
We did.
How did you guys, the aroma of the leaves, what did you think of that?
Really, really nice.
Yeah, the aroma was really nice. It's really green, I think Denny noted, but there's a nice depth to it. So I'm really curious to see how that translates to the taste.
Yeah, really young, very fresh. So this was picked in March.
Yeah, end of March. End of March. Yeah.
Okay, so really freshly picked. It sits in the mouth in a really, really interesting way.
Like, I don't get any bitterness. I'm not getting any bitterness.
I'll brew this one just a scratch. This next one just a scratch hotter.
The texture is like very unusual. I'm not used to this texture at all. It's kind of like this. It's like soapiness, and it's also sort of like thick in the middle.
That I think that texture. I don't know if you've ever. Have you ever had any like Chinese medicines with slippery elm in it, or Western medicines with slippery elm in it? There is a character that is very similar to that texture that I think that you're describing. This one, it's really hard for the farmers to actually pick these. The farmers don't use any ropes or harnesses, and these trees they look like telephone poles for about 20 to 30 feet, and that's where the leaves are. The leaves are at the top. I mean, it's literally at the canopy of the forest. Got the pictures to prove it. And I mean, they just climb up it barefoot. And one farmer one day, I mean, you got to remember they've got to hike all the way there, and they've got to hike all the way back. These old trees don't produce a lot of buds, and the buds only grow up at the very, very top. One farmer or one picker can maybe pick 2.5 kilos per day, which is not a lot. And then after they process that down, that's maybe half a kilo of processed leaf after sun drying. And so it took them 2 weeks to pick what we needed for our order.
Wow.
Yeah.
So arduous process to get this tea produced.
It was, and it's just hard to get to. Most of them don't even bother with it unless it's a special request, just because nobody owns these trees. These trees just grow in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. You ask the farmer how old it is, and their answer is, well, how old's the earth? It's kind of funny, but it just means they really have no idea.
And so pre-show we had talked a little bit about this tea, and you guys had mentioned, wow, this kind of comes out and can get a little bit bitter, or even very bitter, even to the point where you guys were thinking maybe we should blend this, or should we leave it on its own? Maybe you guys want to speak a little bit about that.
Yeah, because as we've been getting a little bit more into blending teas, you'll find single origin stuff has positives and negatives, and when you're trying to blend and create something better than the sum of its parts, you want to accentuate the positives and detract from the negatives. And I think that this would have been really awesome blended with maybe a different type of material. It would have created something very unique. But I really wanted to present this as it was, because I think it's very special how it is, and you just don't see this anywhere. So yeah.
Let's give it another shot.
Cheers.
Cheers, y'all. There's the bitterness.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely there.
But it's very different.
It sits in a different place, right? It's like I get it at the very top of the back of my throat. Not really bitter in the mouth. It's like a very high throat bitterness.
I don't have as much of a mouth puckering. So like when you drink coffee, let's say you have it's clearly bitter, but doesn't have that sort of mouth puckering tannin astringency going on. This doesn't have that as much, but it has that bitter flavor, which is really interesting.
Yeah, the bitterness is very particular in this tea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It well, like I said, it's definitely unique.
And now it's much more, for me at least, not nearly as sweet, and maybe a little bit more like a vegetable-y, verdant.
Mm-hmm.
It still has that crispness though, like a young, fresh green tea would.
Yeah, we brought my brother over and we drank it for about 2 hours last night, and I could never find the end of where to steep it. This one just kept going and going and going.
Yeah.
It's a good problem.
After about 12 steepings, the bitterness will go away, and it just gets super, super sweet. Also, from what we stored last year,
Yeah, the bitterness just totally removed.
bitterness is super mellow after a year in our storage from what we got from the farmer last year. So Lamo came up with the name and call it Slumbering Dragon. Why did you pick that, Lamo?
Because those trees so wired and they are growing in middle of nowhere. It's like a dragon sleeping and waiting for people to wake them up.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we wanted to come up with fun names for our teas this year. I mean, also represent like what they are and where they come from, so people can learn more about the different regions and stuff. So, but yeah, we really wanted to come up with fun names for our stuff this year. I think we did.
In terms of how you guys press this, would you call this a pretty solid hard pressing? Is it
No, we like to.
looks pretty light to me, but
Yeah, as far as like the pressing of the cake.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'd say actually the only machine that's used in the entire processing is the 5 seconds it gets pressed into a hydraulic machine. But what a lot of people don't realize is that you can control entirely like how heavily you want it compressed and how long you want it compressed. And so what I was looking for was something, if iron cake compression is on one side of the scale and stone compression by foot and dancing is on the other side of the scale, I wanted something like about 60%. If 0 is stone compression and 100 is iron compression, I wanted something just a little north of the midway point. And it makes the cakes much easier to open. I think for most of the Western consumers, they're not going to be storing this for 30 or 40 years. So I think it'll help it age a little faster for them.
Yeah. And James, why would it age faster? Just for the folks out there who don't know.
If it's loosely compressed, they'll just absorb more water and more humidity quicker. Compression has traditionally been used as a way to sort of control the aging of the tea. So, like Shagwan, the super iron compressions were designed for more humid climates like Southeast Asia and places like that.
Yeah, and those ones, I mean, they're compressed so tight they almost ring like a bell. You can like hit them there. It's somewhat of an exaggeration. But,
What are you thinking about this now? I feel like the bitterness is already mellowing out a little bit.
Yeah, this tea is extremely difficult for me to place. I drink a lot of young Pu'erh, and I can't say that I've drank anything quite like this. I think it's very good from what I can tell. But yeah, I'm still trying to place the aftertaste and all that stuff. It's definitely lingering sort of in the back of my mouth more, and I'm trying to figure out if it's like throaty or not. So yeah.
So we did brew about half what we brewed gram wise from the last two tastings.
right.
So this was just 5 grams, and it can you start putting more leaf than that in there, and it can definitely get really aggressive. Which can be good.
And it has a lot of tea energy.
I was gonna say.
I feel like my body a little
I'm
bit.
really warm right
Yeah,
now.
I'm starting to sweat.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I'm almost tasting it in my stomach in some sense. And I mean, this is
Yeah, this one more than probably any of our teas has the most noticeable cha tea energy in it.
Interestingly enough, it seems to be the lightest in terms of the liqueur.
Oh, it looks it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, nice
It
and
looks gentle.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It looks thin. It looks like green and happy, and then it's kind of like
It just, yeah.
That's the Slumbering Dragon.
Yeah. That's,
there you go.
that's
Good
it.
name.
Yeah.
I'm not getting that much bitterness anymore.
I'm not getting that much bitterness anymore either.
Yeah.
It was definitely a lot more bitter when we were playing around with it last night.
We put a lot of more. The quantity wise?
Oh, we had 5 grams last night.
Okay.
I think it's really nice. It has like that nice. It has clearly has that Pu'erh, little bit of like that earthy. I don't know. I always say petroleum, but it's not quite right in this case.
So it has that sort of Sheng Pu'erh base.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still. I mean, but I would almost mistake this for a smoky green tea if I was chasing it blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, interestingly enough. So, and again, I mean, this is how many months old? Not many.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Pretty young. Pretty young.
well, if folks are interested in learning more about your other teas that you guys have, we've done a few tastings on the show already. I'm sure we're going to bring you guys back again after you guys go back to China again. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, you go to China and you get like 3 tickets for TDB episodes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. In exchange for tea pets, no. Which was very sweet. Well, I will make sure to bring that on my in-between episode. But if folks want to learn more about you guys, these awesome, cool videos of the trees, as well as you guys also have some really great teapots and a whole bunch of awesome content, which they do.
Yeah, crimsonlotustea.com or Crimson Lotus Tea on all the social media stuff. We're all over the place.
Right on. So if you can Google, you can find them. If you can Google, you can't find us. Yes, you can. We are on the internet, and we're at tdb.org. Check us out for 110 plus episodes.
Yeah, this was 111, right?
Yeah.
111, unbelievable.
111.
Yeah, and subscribe to their stuff, follow them, love them, like them, hit the heart buttons, all that stuff. And we'll see you guys next time on TDB.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Cheers.